And we are live. What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And I have a question for you guys. I appreciate you guys coming in, sticking in. You know, um, Let me go with the comments. We got Jacob. Let's go. Let it go. Let go, champ. Uh, Not sure. D's not that bad. I think that he knew that Roy was at his mercy, and out of respect for everything, Mike carried the fight, win loss. Okay, no meaning for him. I think so too. I think Mike at times though, Mike had that he had that mindset to go in and kill because he did land some good punches. And Roy fucking ran, and I'm not even really the one that says that a lot though about fighters. But Roy fought to survive. Um, Now, don't get me wrong. I understood his game plan. His game plan was, let me get Mike past round 4 or 5. Let me hold on for dear life, because that's what he ended up doing. And then because he knew Mike was going to come in like we knew he was going to do. It was a lot slower than I thought he was going to. But you have to understand, Roy Jones Jr. is an unorthodox fighter. Canelo versus Mayweather 2 is what I want to see. I don't want to see that shit. You got a 43-year-old Mayweather. What do you think's going to happen with a 31-year-old Canelo? Come on, man. You know what I mean? And then see, Floyd ain't dumb. Floyd knows he's not going to bang with these young guys. He ain't Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard did that same dumb shit, He went in there and fought Hector Camacho and got knocked out. Got knocked out, by a youngin', Tyson won every round easily. Yeah. I have a feeling that Roy had a hard time getting out of the bed this morning. Them punches hurt. The punches to the hot body hurt. They hurt me. He's a devastating potted buncher. I felt every punch. I thought I had a 6-pack, but, looked like I need a 12-pack. Yeah. But Mike Tyson casually robbed on a Saturday night. What the fuck? Yeah, well, after all, it was for charity, but for the competition purposes of it, Mike beat him. Even when Roy started actually throwing punches, they were like flurries, and they really didn't have a lot on them. Big Daddy Cox, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Chris Serrano, counterpunch. Willie O'Reilly. Bruce Wayne. Kevin Lopez, counterpunch to you guys. Jim Brown's in the house. The man with the wrench, and he ain't afraid to use it. Jamie, it was better than Jacobs versus Rosado. You counterpunch. Jamie, you are absolutely right. That shit was terrible. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? You got two guys. How in the hell are two guys in their 50s gonna outshine two guys in their 30s? However, to be fair though, do you guys remember when Chris Shamrock and Royce Gracie got into the ring at Bellator? Remember that shit? And then they had a very good outing. They had a good competitive scrap. Whereas Kimbo Slice and Dada 5000 had one of the worst fucking times I ever remember. God bless the dead with Kimbo, but come on, man. That shit was whack.org. Counterpunch. So, it can happen. KD Ortiz, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. But Nadi, what's up, brother? Counterpunch. Actually, I just did a couple of those videos you recommend, so I counterpunched them. I've published them, but I haven't posted them yet, so stay tuned for that. Mark Purdy, Iron Mike was robbed. Okay, there we go. There's another one. Late night was such a fun event. Cheers to Snoop's commentary. Yeah, man, I had to watch it again, and I was tired, man, because it was like I was, because I did the 3-hour live stream with Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois, Triple D. And then, went right back at it with Tyson. So it is what it is. Jim Jones, UK, what's up, brother? What's good? Everything's good, man. Barry Lee, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Daniel Simmons, terrible fight, though. Ring was the size of a stamp. I think that benefited Mike, honestly, because, you know, if you got a 24-foot ring like that, it's hard. It's easier to run around. It's easier to use the ring. Whereas it's shorter, it benefits Mike. You see what I'm saying? Abraham, love to listen and watch this channel from Lagos, Nigeria. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Appreciate you. Keep watching because it's keep going to be growing and it's going to keep showing. Absolutely. The ref messed that fight up. You know what, bro? Counterpunch. RLY. Ring Nig. Renig. Is that Renig? 4-2? Look, that's what I was bitching about the whole time. I was bitching about that the whole time. Like, yo, why is this ref watching these two guys, watching Roy Jones Jr. smother Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson's trying to fight? It was a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? Daniel Simmons, it did that why draw was fair. Nah. When you get paid $10 million for that, there is no robbery. Counterpunch to you, bro. Both of those guys are sitting pretty. You know what I mean? And you got to really think about it, though. I mean, they should look. To be fair, they should have an old league of fighters, but there will not be another Mike Tyson. So when Mike has to do something, people are gonna listen. People are gonna watch. Look, people are gonna watch that don't watch boxing. Boxing will be the way it used to be, especially when they see Mike. You know how many people that saw the fight yesterday that don't even watch boxing? Or they used to watch boxing until fighters like Mike are no longer fighting. Then therefore, they're watching them again, right? They could have made it a 4-rounder. Fuck that. No, I'm glad they made it an 8. They should have made it a 10. That's what they should have done. That would have been good. And or look, if it was going to be a 4-rounder, let it be 3-minute rounds. None of those, female rounds. None of those. You know what I mean? That's not. No, I would be disrespected because that's like doing a push-up from your knees. You know what I mean? No, won't happen. I didn't appreciate that. A bunch of grabbing and slow dancing. It wasn't that bad. Big Daddy Cox. Wow, there was spots Mike was out jabbing Roy Jones. Roy was doing that chicken jab and shit. He was jabbing and then moving that way. Like, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? I'm like, dude. Kwame to Abra. Much love from Ghana, brother. Keep up the good work. Your family here proud of you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, brother. Counterpunch to you. Triple D's trainer had to stop the fight before Triple D do it himself. Look, Triple D quit, bro. He quit. He didn't get the fuck up. He didn't get up. D-Town Blaster, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. And I'm trying to have a great day. It's kind of cold out here, actually. There's no sun out. I wish sun would come out for a little bit. That would be kind of cool. But Kyle Parker, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. AB, what's up, Counterpunch? Listening from Bosnia. Nice. And it's Herzegovina. No, Herzegovina. Okay. Herzegovina. All right. That's what's up, man. Counterpunch to you. Worldwide. That's how we do it. Kid Caramel. Only thing that got robbed was Dubois' eye. Yeah, I mean, his eye was robbed of sight. It was robbed of sight. Counterpunch. They did not want anybody hurt. Tyson held back. You know, I'm glad it. Look, I would rather it like this than something fucked up happening. So don't get me wrong. I mean, for our entertainment, people beating the shit out of each other is the premise. Okay? So we have to remember that at the end of the day, and these are guys that used to do it. These guys have been through it. And these guys, once again, returned back to it. Bars. So that's what happened. And this is what we have. And they gave us a good show. You know, nobody got knocked down or knocked out or hurt or cut or bruised. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some bruises. Because I think, Roy Jones, the body punches hurt me. I know he's a devastating body puncher. I had to stay away from that. Pensacola in the house, baby. Oh, it was nothing more than a fake exhibition. Neither were trying to hurt each other. I don't know, Chris W. I think Mike in the first round, he tried to throw some punches. You know what I mean? Y'all ready for Ali versus Frazier 2021? Yeah, yeah. Good luck with that one, Anthony. Blue Heath, you did an awesome job, brother. Mike did his thing last night. He had Roy on the rope a little bit. Yeah, he should have banged, but I mean, Roy knew. Lock him up, you know, clinch him. Don't let him get off because he could hurt him. And then it's like I don't think Mike held stuff back. I think Mike was Mike was one of those guys that really was wanting to make a statement, you know, because I don't think he's done. I think Roy was doing it for the exposure and, you know, a little bit of the bread, right? But I think Mike is doing it for a totally different reason. Dan Pez, what's up, chat? What's up, chat? Straight from blood boxing, good show, but a real difference of opinion, or should I say, call them facts? Whatever. His opinions is opinions. Facts, you know, you can be proven. Opinions, you can't. Billy Goat, top channel. Appreciate you, brother. You're a hardcore counterpunch. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, these guys were, you know, they trained for this shit. It ain't like they just came in there and, you know, and 1 week and then fought for. No, they, you know, Mr. Bones, 16 rounds. Who's next for Tyson? I don't know. Shell Sonnen, put his ass in boxing gloves. Hope Tyson knocks his fucking head off. That's what I'm hoping. Facts, even the wife watched. Nice. You know what I mean? Everybody watched. That shows you. You know, when Mike does shit like that, this is a throwback. Man, I used to watch Mike from probably from since I can remember, because I remember when I was 8 and 9, he was already champion, and he was a young, thick-necked guy knocking everybody out. I remember my brother-in-law coming over to the house, you know, and he had a tape of Mike Tyson, and he had his Mike Tyson, his latest knockouts, because again, this was in the 80s, so he had him maybe about 5, and he had one of this guy, and then, you know, Mike was really putting it to him, and, you know, that's when the first times of Mike Tyson on top of people. You guys can remember that Mike Tyson had his own game. Mike Tyson had a couple games. But, of course, the one in Nintendo was known, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. So when he hit you with one of those uppercuts and fucking little Mac ass went out, that's what you remember. How many people put in the code to get Mike to fight Mike Tyson right away? You know what I mean? Without being told, man, he was robbed. Yeah. Would have been happy with 8 rounds at 3 minutes. Big Daddy, that would have been fucking dope. That would have been some dope shit. If Mike Tyson would have came, if they would have went 3, that would look, I bet you Roy, because Roy I think was more tired than Mike, honestly. And he would, because you could see how Roy was looking him in that ring and inside that bell. He was on that stool. He was breathing. He was looking up. You know. I don't want to see him fight Holyfield no more. But it's so funny how things come to pass, though. You guys remember everybody felt sorry for Holyfield back in the 90s when Mike Tyson bit a piece of his ear off. You guys remember that, if you were around, whatever. But I remember that. And I remember the reasoning behind Mike, what he said, why he did what he did. Evander Holyfield used to headbutt people like no tomorrow. He used to do this. Okay? And after the Mike Tyson situation, he was caught doing the shit again. Look what he did to Hasim Rahman. Tyson looked amazing, and the way he moved. If he came back 10 years ago, he could have done damage, but his mind wasn't right at the time. Darius, Mike Tyson was on drugs. That's what happened. Mike was on drugs. You know what I mean? And then here's the thing. If you can't get clean, now listen to me, guys. If you can't get clean as a fighter to pass a drug test, there's no limit or no level or no point of the amount of drugs that you can do if you don't have to pass a drug test. That means there's no time when you're just really sobered out. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he might have that he's just genetically a freak of nature. That's why he was able to look good in training, because of the muscle memory, because of the stringent conditioning that Teddy Atlas and the great Customato used to put him through. But at the end of the day, when he got out of the realm of those guys, and those guys weren't for assisting him anymore, dude, he was going buck wild. Buck wild. He did that for a long time. Mike Tyson is probably one of the most gratefulest people, because he did things when other fighters, you can't say that about them. He did the drugs and stuff. Him and Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., not Junior. Junior's a fuck up too. But a lot of people don't know. Senior was a part of that lifestyle. Boxers live a very fast life. So Darius, he was on drugs. I wouldn't mind seeing Mike Tyson fighting someone like Fedor or Silva. Yeah, but they got to put him in box. I don't want Mike doing all that. You know what I'm saying? All that ground and pound. He's not that. No. Andy Foster, head of the California Athletic Commission, said that there was going to be no judges or winners from the start. If anyone got knocked down, his people would step in to stop the fight. Well, YJ, if that was the case, then if that was the case, there should be a knockdown, definitely. Somebody should be a knockdown. Now, if we'd have seen a knockout like Paul did my man, that would have been some crazy shit. You know what I mean? That would have been like, that would have went viral. Mike Tyson's last knockout, he knocks out Roy Jones. That shit would have been a great headline. A great headline. But of course, I'm fan of both too. I bet those ratings were through the roof last night. They were, Dion. And again, I gotta keep saying, man, fuck Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen is one of those guys. He gets off just talking about himself, or just get off just running his mouth. The truth of the matter was, he was a good contender, but Chael Sonnen, that motherfucker cheated himself. You know what I mean? And he was like, well, these guys are lying about breaking records. How could you believe these guys could actually do that? Can't stand that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Because he hates on everybody. He has a bullshit show, and he can talk a gang of shit. He should be really a politician, but he's too much of a prick to really be that way. I thought that you couldn't get no prickier, but yeah, he's a real prick. HDAZ fam, what's good from Chicago? What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Joyce had loaded gloves. He had loaded gloves, right? Wow. That wouldn't that be the fucked up thing of Deontay Wilder? Just he created a trend of people like, man, fuck that dude. Gloves was loaded. Shout out to Deontay Wilder for calling out the bullshit. These motherfuckers lying. They got shit in their gloves. Fuck them. Let's get those likes up, guys. We got 445 people in the chat. Let's hit that like button. Let's go. Let's get it. Do you think Triple D should have been stopped by a referee anyway with his high shut? Zen King, it could have been. And I did wonder. And look, these fights in the bubble are very strange. They're very strange because a lot of things that should take place, like, where's the fucking doctors? I didn't see a doctor one time. They should have been looking at that eye at least from round 5 or 6. That eye was closing, and it closed quick. By the round 8, it was shut. That eye was shut, closed. Cerrado, shut. Yeah, I'm with you, Darius. I'm a big fan of both. I'm glad nobody got hurt, though. Neil Palmer from Hull, UK. Counterpunch to you. Billy Goat, shout out from the UK. Al White, yes, he should have got the win. He did most of the work on Roy. He did, Al White. You're right. You know what I mean? And then you got to take into account, he's older. Makes me laugh how Frank trashed AJ for quitting and White when he got KO'd, but Frank was on the verge of tears last night. You know he was punch drunk underscore critic. Counterpunch. Hey Jay, he quit. He quit on this. He quit in the corner. That's what happened. You know, Andy Ruiz, caught him with something and he quit. Up in Hawaii, nice and warm. Too bad everybody can't be out here. I know, Skywalker King, I was just in the Caribbean, so, I feel what you're saying. But you know something, though? It was hot, humid, feeling good. Wind was blowing. But the mosquitoes were a mother sucker. They were terrible. I ain't missing them. You know what I mean? I'm not. It was still a great fight that Tyson won and could have stopped Roy anytime because the last thing to go is the power and the first thing to go is speed. I'm not complaining. I enjoyed the fight. Okay. Philip, what's up, Kurt? Fell asleep during the Tyson fight. I was gutted. Had to watch the replay this morning. Yeah, it's okay, man. It was a good fight. I hope you enjoyed it. Two old men outside outsold all the pups. Yeah. Tyson versus Lewis next. You know what? That could probably be the next fight. I was listening to Lewis. Lewis said that he still feels like he's the undisputed heavyweight champion, right? So he still feels like that. So, he might come back and challenge Mike. Mike was on drugs. He wasn't well. I think that with training, we could have one hell of a fight, and I'll give him another opportunity. Yeah, hit him with a floating rib shot. Tyson still looked faster than Roy for sure. Shit, Roy was on that bike. People are complaining about the fight, but the ones that are complaining, neither one of the getting in the ring with Roy or Mike. No, they're not. I'll gladly buy Tyson's next fight. Because Tyson shows he's still here to fight. Old or not, he's still a warrior. He still comes to fight. He still wants to give it his all. You know what I mean? And he's fucking Mike Tyson. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those likes up for Mike. Let's go. A lot of people said that Roy doped Tyson and that Roy had a midget in one of the gloves. Hulk mode 24/7. Yeah, Daniel did quit and now he has a broken orbital bone. Damn. Yeah, I heard that. I gotta confirm that though. I heard he had a broken orbital bone. I was expecting it to be terrible, but it was actually pretty good. Luke, it was good, man. Who could De La Hoya fight? I just did a video on De La Hoya. He's calling out Triple G. We'll see. Triple G's, he's used to cherry picking lately, so he'll probably cherry pick Oscar De La Hoya. What do you think? I only did it for the money. Simon 007. De La Hoya versus GHP in boxing. That De La Hoya would destroy him. GHP's one of those submitting and cats. He has some pretty good kicks, but if you take all that shit away and just give him gloves, De La Hoya will beat the shit out of him. Understand something. If you run up on De La Hoya, coked up or not, or drunk or not, De La Hoya will beat the shit out of you. You think that man, you run up on De La Hoya. Cat's probably about 180. De La Hoya about 180 now, you know what I'm saying? Fought at light middleweight, welterweight, junior welterweight, lightweight. You run up on a guy like that and try to start some shit with Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar De La Hoya will fuck you up. You'll think he's another businessman getting out of his Lamborghini or whatever the fuck car he is, and you went up talking to him, talking shit. First thing he's going to do, hey, I don't want any problems. That's what's going to happen to you. Yep. Damn, you won 350 on a draw? Damn, Dion. Usyk going to have to destroy Joyce's body to beat him. Anthony Schultz, I don't think he will. He'll go to the body. But see, here's the thing about Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is a big guy. I think the same type of fight will happen again. He's not going to hit Usyk like he hit Dubois. Dubois was inexperienced. That shit is not going to happen. That is not going to happen with no Usyk. And that just shows you Usyk can go toe to toe with that guy and be right there in his face and doing all that fucking dancing footwork shit all around him. Okay? That's Usyk. And then now people realize Usyk is no fucking joke. Now can people give him his credit? He went in there and played and toyed with that guy. He's still a double gold Olympian. Ain't shit changed. Do you see Usyk slowing down? Did he look slow against Chisora? I don't think so. That was one of his attributes. The footwork and the speed and the boxing ability, the ring IQ. He knew what to do. Counterpunch. Joshua Lil John, I thought it was real good. I think Joyce did what he's supposed to do. And then think about Joyce. Joyce went in there without his trainer. So, that's extra psychological problems and challenges when you don't have your head trainer there. Let's get those likes up. Let's go to 400. We got 418 on the chat. Let's hit that like button. There's no way that fight should have been a draw. Mike won, and I'm more impressed in the lateral movement. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you. John Fury next for Mike. You know what? I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see John hurt. John's an old guy, should play with his grandkids, all 100 of them, and chill. Don't be calling me thick neck, bruh. Okay, Trevor. Mike is very strong. He couldn't break those clinches because he was tiring too. Roy did good work. Real boxing facts. Roy did good work with what he was trying to do. His strategy didn't work. And what I mean by that, he wasn't successful. I mean, he didn't get knocked out or dropped. But what Roy was trying to do was tire Mike out. Let Mike punch off that steam. Rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you notice, round 6, he started actually throwing these little flurries and getting out of the way. If you notice, that's what he was trying to do. But the problem was he was just as tired as Mike. He didn't preserve his energy because he used a lot of it holding. When you wrestle a motherfucker, that takes a lot of energy. I know. Especially like if you're sparring martial arts, if you're in there and you're sparring a guy and they take you to the ground, you trying to get out of that clinch, or even when you clinch in boxing, that takes a lot of energy out of you anyway. I lost $6,000 over this poxy fight. Damn, Jamie. You don't fucking gamble again. Don't do that, Jamie. It wouldn't be good for you. Jamie, no. Like Mike Tyson. No, Jamie. Don't go back over there, Jamie. As a kid, I read an article about Mike Tyson, the new heavyweight that is turning pro who knocked people out at 13. Mike was a lot younger than people thought he was. He was a fucking kid. When he was hanging around Teddy Atlas, it was a kid, bro. Teddy Atlas was like a young adult. Mike was a kid. Okay? So that's, people need to understand that. I would pay to see Mike and Lennox Lewis fight again. Well, Blue Heath, that's pretty much what you're going to see. What time is it now? It's 2:22 here. Talking about Roy's chin. He ate an overhand right from Tyson. Respect. He did. I thought he was going to be gone, but you know what? He didn't catch that chin any. You gotta catch Jones on the chin. He's a chinny guy. Like you can hit him in the chin, he'll go somewhere. What other heck is going on with Jarrell Miller and the Viagra gate? Nothing. He's still trying to make a way out of something that doesn't have a way, looks like. He just has to wait it out. Rockman got a tumor on his face that night. That wasn't a fucking tumor. What that was a headbutt. It looked like a sledgehammer. Natalie, feel me. Yeah, it was allowed actually. You thoughts on YouTube boxers? Well, I know how they try to mix boxes in there. I think they should have their own, separate event. But at least I will say this: at least this shit wasn't a main event. You see what I'm saying? If you're gonna have YouTube fighters and they're trying to get a grudge or just trying to do this to just to, show what they can do outside of the video, outside of in front of the video camera, and show that they actually can bang and fight, do it like they did last night. Do it on an undercard. Glad it was a draw, Keith. Bro, we're all on drugs. Snoop Dogg should not be a commentator. What was wrong with Snoop Dogg? Sonnen does not know about boxing. He does not realize Floyd carried Connor. Look, Chael Sonnen, dude, is such a boxing casual who hates on boxing anytime he gets. He even says Conor McGregor whooped Floyd Mayweather and the ref saved Floyd. Are you fucking kidding? Man, that dude needs to go ahead somewhere. That's crazy. Hanafi Cool. I am from Indonesia. Counterpunch to you. Looked like two uncles fighting in the backyard at a barbecue. Yeah, that was funny though. You can tell they were old. I'm glad it wasn't a knockout. The damage at that age could be severe. Well, I mean, a knockout is a knockout. Shit. Joyce versus Ortiz. Nate looked like Pacquiao on the ground. Why? Yeah, he did. He really did. Why would it be rigged to rob Mike when it's his event to launch legends? Well, I think if it was that way, I think it was just to save face. Because Roy Jones is a respectable guy. He's real close to boxing. He's a legend himself. He's fought at heavyweight once. He became champion in the heavyweight division once, but he's not a heavyweight. He did it, a bucket list. So he scratched it off his bucket list. Great videos again yesterday, mate. Keep them coming. I will, John Flora. You're absolutely right. James Jameson, good point. If I was completely closed, it should have been stopped. Shout out from Durham City, England. Kane Patrick Hobson. Counterpunch to you, brother. Yeah, you need more likes. Yes, we do need more likes. They're growing. People hitting that like button. They're growing. They're getting up there. You're getting up there. Keep going, guys. Hit that like button. What fight from two other great? Let's see, another exhibition. I don't know. You guys want to see Pacquiao Mayweather? Which Mayweather, he don't want to do that. Mayweather hates Pacquiao, honestly. He hates that guy because he knows he has a dancing partner, which he won't admit. You know what I mean? That's it. Tyson won that fight. I'm happy my son got to see it. That's cool. Brandanar won. Tyson got Rob Jones holding the whole fight. Timothy Mason. Wilder versus Tyson? Nah. I don't like that's too based on how Tyson looked, somebody taller would give Mike problems at his age. Ike Barabucci is Mike Tyson's next opponent. Ike is how Ike is a big dude now. I seen him, you know what I mean? He's like a prison like that old prison OG, but he ain't shit like he used to be. He's a big dude now. But I bet you if he hits you, he could fucking destroy your face, break an orbital bone, jaw, break your mandible. Next one needs to be 3-minute rounds. You're right. You're absolutely right. Looks like you got some nice nature in the background. Can you show us? Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. See, that's the see the trees are all turning a certain color. Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. Cool stuff. Joe's held more than the lean on me video. Is this was a full regulation, Roy might have gotten clipped. Yeah. Juan Carlos. Castañeda. Hello. Counterpunch to you. Xbox versus PS. PS, baby. I don't do the Xbox. No disrespect for people that do, that are Xboxers. I just don't, I don't do it. Tyson has more problems with Roy because he's his height and more quicker than bigger heavyweights. Oscar impression. Luis S. What up, my brother? What's up, Luis S? Counterpunch to you. AJ fights in less than 2 weeks and still no press conference. Not even Zoom conferences. I don't know. Canelo's probably half pissed off at the people that he decided to go back with, and that's the zone. I saw that Tyson looked excellent. Aussie Ox Schmidt, you like Tyson's performance yesterday? Big shout out from the UK. The Phantom Salad Dodger. Counterpunch to you. He tripped me out about that name yesterday. Everyone thought he was gassed out. Haven't played video games since basic Nintendo. Damn. I'm sorry. Games have changed a lot since then. Tyson said sign him up for 10 more. Fuck that. Tyson's a warrior, though. He's an absolute warrior. What up, fight fans? Aaron, what's up, brother? Floyd versus Oscar, too. Now, that would probably be a good fight. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Oscar never got his opportunity for one. Oscar's older for two, so it wouldn't be so bad if he lost. You know what I mean? And I think Floyd, he's better at advantages. If he has the upper hand and he knows, well, I'm a better fighter, Was their gloves thicker than standard? No, they're 10-ounce gloves. Veronica Ronnie, what's up? Counterpunch to you, Veronica. Tyson versus Briggs would be much better. Yeah, that would be a good fight. You know what? Actually, because I think Shannon wouldn't hold like that. Shannon would actually fight Mike. Yeah, he would actually fight Mike. No, their gloves were 12. Their gloves were 12? I thought their gloves were 10. Huh. Okay. They were 12. All right. Who you want to see fight? Mike, next card, I think. He should fight Briggs. That would be a good fight because Briggs comes to fight. You know what I mean? He's that fighting dude. He's bigger, he's taller. Mike's used to fighting taller guys. Let's get an over 50s division going. I want to see more. Damn, who could we add today? Okay. Holyfield's almost 60, by the way. He's up there with like Van Damme. I think Van Damme is 60. Let's see. We have Lights Out Tony. He don't give a shit. He'll fight anybody. He don't really care. He don't really care about that stuff. David Tua, Akiwana Vitali. Okay. Why not? Mike Tyson fight Wilder in an alleyway. Lennox. Yeah, Lennox is in his 50s. He's in that same bag. What else? These old guys are coming out though. De La Hoya's not in the 50s yet, so he can't be added. Tyson versus Klitschko, that would be a good one. Klitschko's a big old bastard though, ain't he? Both of them are just tall. Kurt, did you notice how Mike was talking in their post interview? I haven't seen Mike so alive in a long time. He was talking fast and intense like a young Mike he was. Yeah, Mike gets crunk though. He gets crunk when it comes to that type of stuff. France Bruno, you mean Frank Bruno? I don't know, I think Frank's a little older, ain't he? I mean, he might be late 50s. Joyce versus Wilder. You know what? I would actually want to see that. I actually want to see that fight. And if Joyce can fight and take that right, you know what I mean? Which I don't know if he can, because I'm not gonna sit here and say, well, if he can take triple D's, I know he can take Wilder's. I ain't gonna be the dumbass to say that. No, because if I said that, I was lying, and if I said that, you should wonder why I said that. Ain't no bias here. If Wilder hits you, because see, you have to understand, Dominic Breazeale had a good chin, a good punch. You know, he said that they was his uncles fighting at the barbecue. Yeah, bars. Lady Sean, counterpunch to you. Bro, you need to do a YouTube fight too. How about that? Or you're a YouTuber. Yeah, it could be yourself in blue blood. Dudes ain't gonna fight me. Shit. That will not happen. Given an opportunity to safely continue their careers in some capacity inside the ring, I think we would probably be surprised who would come back out of retirement. Hell, with Ernie Shavers and Mike. Ernie Shavers is a lot older though, man. You got to remember something. Ernie Shavers fought like Larry Holmes and and Muhammad Ali. That was in the 70s. That's way off. That's way off. Get 78 sports. More like boxing ego. That's more appealing. Hulk Hogan versus Mike Tyson. Yeah, I think Mike could get him. Hulk Hogan's old though, man. Hulk Hogan's in his 70s now, late 60s. He said, blue who? So good. It's joined. What did you think about the fight? I think for what it was a good write down to the post-fight interview. Stay blessed. Keep it at 100. It was successful. It was a successful outing. The card was successful. You've seen some knockouts. You've seen some excitement. Hey, Eileen, how you doing? Oh, hold on just a second, guys. One moment.
It's the story of my keys again. I must have left them inside because when I came back, I tried to unlock the house and I couldn't. And okay. I had to walk to the office.
Okay.
But wait a moment. If I may finish, excuse me. But the office is closed today too, so I couldn't get anyone to help me.
Okay, so you need to get in?
Yes, I've been out here for a half an hour or more, and
wow.
I'm freezing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I just need some help. Okay, I have keys. You know, no, I have keys for this door here, and I was waiting for someone to be able to.
You want me to jump over there and unlock it?
If you can.
Yeah, I can jump over and unlock it. And open sesame.
I was going to try to climb over
Oh God, no, no, you don't need that. Here's your key.
I don't know what to do.
Come on.
And you know, when I saw the sign on the door that they were locked out here for the holidays today, I didn't know that.
No, no, I don't need anything. I'm just glad you're okay. Get you a blanket. You're welcome. Okay, guys, I am back. Had a small emergency assistance. Had to help an older lady out. She got locked out of her apartment and had to jump over in her. It's nice to be good, nice to people. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's a neighbor, because you know I'm renting an apartment, and it's a trip because she's an older lady, you know. I mean she's like in her 80s, so, and she's like, I think she's from Boston, I think originally. But anyway, I talk to her from time to time. So she's out here, and then she was just like, hey, flag me down, and got locked out of her house. Dion W. Hey, no problem, brother. I mean, that's what we supposed to do, you know? But yeah, sorry about that. I had to help the lady out. Miss Eileen Chrysomalis. Yeah, she's good people though. She talks to me like she'll talk to you like for like 30 minutes to an hour. You know, if you ain't got nothing to do, you'll sit down and pick her brain and listen to how things were or whatnot. Ooh, Mitchell Balzan. People buying Spider-Man on PS5. I'm watching Counterpunch. Who's winning? You know what? I actually bought Spider-Man, that the Miles Morales one. So that's big. That's big. You know what I mean? Shows what class act you are, Kurt. Richard Mark, appreciate you, brother. The elderly need help, more help than ever. Yeah, they do. They do. And she was freezing because it's cold out here. It's 40, it's early 50s or late 40s. I don't know if I said that right. High 50s and late 40s. But yeah, she needed help. I just glad I could help her, man, because it was a rail that kind of was, she's a smaller lady. So, you know, it's like the rail is probably about 4 foot tall. So imagine someone in their 80s trying to get over a rail. You know, if Lennox Lewis fights Mike, I know AJ gonna be cheering hard for Mike because Mike is AJ's favorite fighter, and AJ has beef with Lennox. You know what? You're right. You know, I told you he's a clown. He's a clown. Lennox Lewis is a clown. Mike Tyson knocks him out 10 times out of 10. I think Mike had a lot of shit going on with him, and Lennox Lewis is a clown. He has no class. I hope Mike knocks some Spock out. Lennox Lewis is a clown. Good looking out for your community. The world needs more of that. Floyd 972, just pay it forward. You guys see anybody that needs help, help them. You know what I mean? Certain things should work through you, you know, not just to you. But anyway, the 50s League. Who else could we add to that particular roster? Who could we add to that roster that ain't been around in a while? Let's see. Chris Bird, he's trying to do it again. This motherfucker's trying to do it like in the middleweight division. And one thing I didn't know about Chris Bird didn't even supposed to be fighting at heavyweight. It was crazy. Be kind, help people. Plus, most elderlies have amazing stories and hoof-like story lessons. They do. And you know what? It was so funny though. I was thinking about like when I was talking to you guys today. I was like, man, I haven't heard from her in a while, or maybe that was yesterday, but I haven't seen her in a while. You know, and then she used to come walking just to be walking and shit. Yeah, Richard, it doesn't. It doesn't take anything to be a good human being. But besides being a good human being, if you're not one of those people, you just won't get it. You know what I'm saying? Good, look it out. Salute for helping the elderly. Oh, absolutely. Nate Robinson got noodle legs in a glass jar. King Flea, King Flea. Hakeem, yeah, no problem. Razor Ruddock. Yeah, Razor. How old is Razor Ruddock though? Is he in his 50s? You know, I think it should be something like you got to give props to Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield, you know, tried to get Riddick Bowe back into the ring because Riddick Bowe, he's like fucking 350 pounds. He's in bad shape. He really needs that. He needs exercise, man. You can't add Oscar. He ain't there yet. He's like 47 years old. So he ain't there yet. You could use Ortiz. Oh, man. You know, you say something like that to Ortiz, he'll tell you to go fuck yourself. Yeah, James Toney, he's already there. James Toney's on the roster. Number one seems to help the old anymore. Oh, no one seems to help the old, but you, bro, needs more like you. Yeah, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, you know. That's just what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? You just taught to do things and why you meant to do things, and you know. That's why, just like to ponder on this a little bit more. That's why I think that like the coronavirus is such reverse from what you're supposed to do. People supposed to come together, not apart. That's what I think. That's what makes it so difficult or whatnot. Because people are supposed to be there for each other, not avoiding one another, not staying away from one another, not looking at someone else inferior. And I think what happens though, a lot of people, they use this as an excuse to be assholes, which they already are. You see people, you shake the hand, they look at you. They can do that now because they have an excuse to do that versus shaking your hand or doing things that they normally supposed to do. They just have an excuse of doing it. I know this sounds like some hot boxing with Mike shit, but this is just my counterpunch on that. But anyway, Prince Nassim Hamed at heavyweight. Yeah, that motherfucker get knocked out, but you know something? He is a heavyweight. He's like 5'8" and 250 pounds. I seen him. He looks like something from another planet. It looks bad. It's sad. It does, compared to the way that man was. I would hate to be married to a dude like that if I was a chick and that motherfucker was like, you know, I married like imagine you're the chick that married Prince Nassim Hamed. Imagine how she would feel. Like, damn, used to be like the shit back in the day. Now you're like, you grew 6 fucking feet wide. You know, it's crazy. You know what I mean? No way Prince is 5. Oh, yeah, he's about 5'3". Hey, makes it that much worse. Makes it that much worse. It makes it that much worse. Poor woman, Darius, fucking. Look, no, he ain't dead. That motherfucker's waist is dead. His waistline is gone. He ain't got no waistline. People hated on Butterbean, but look at his career. That's Butterbean, though. Butterbean wasn't no fucking slender ass, 126-pound featherweight knockout artist. That was Butterfucking Bean. He always looked like that. A chick knew they were getting themselves into bed with Butterbean. Not a guy that tricked their ass by looking really good and in shape when he was fighting. When he stopped fighting, then he turned into a fucking Butterbean. You know what I mean? Blew up like a fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He did that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, Ricky Ratton. Yeah, Ricky Hatton's. Yeah, he's a real. Yeah, I feel bad for him too. He looks like a fucking mechanic now, an old mechanic that ate fucking mayonnaise sandwiches and bologna. That was his lunch every day, you know, Pop Tarts and cheese puffs and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like for real, dude. I mean, that's like one thing that gets me though. Uh, like people when they let themselves go. I mean, anybody, especially when you are blessed with certain physicalities. You know what I mean? Like like let's say, um, like Mike Tyson, he got 250 pounds, but Mike Tyson was, he's a special specimen. Now look at him now. The motherfucker started working out. He's all fucking jacked again. Barrel chest cat. You know? Well, if you think about it, Mike and Roy are always winners. I think that all Legends Leagues fights. And you know something though, I think, like if I'm like Roy Jones was probably, he was this fucking cut up ass stocky. He was this stocky dude. And he was real. And see, Roy was real strong for his size. He was a very strong 160 pounder. That's why he was able to go up to super middleweight and light heavy, then heavy, because even if he could knock those guys out at those higher weight classes, he was still able to keep them honest. And he was able to keep them honest because of the punching power that he carried with him. Now, it wasn't that weight class power, but it was this special power that was beyond his natural power at a certain weight. If that made sense to people. Yeah, you can tell he was mad about it. But I think that Mike, knew like, hey, I think Mike was just glad that he actually went through with it. You got to understand that's an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Being that age, going through a training camp once again, ain't did it in 15, 16 years. Now coming back to it, getting through it. You didn't lose. You know what I'm saying? So it's successful. Do you think Mike Roy is taking something? No, I don't. Fuck Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen, look, it takes one to know one about Chael Sonnen. It takes one to know one. The guy was fucking juicing. He had to take something to almost win against Anderson Silva, and he still lost. As a matter of fact, people, let me counterpunch PEDs for a minute. Okay? All right. Who have you seen? All right? Who have you seen that has been busted that has actually won a fight on PEDs? You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck have you seen that was successful at winning that has got caught now? They had to get caught because then that's the only way we verified that he was doping. You can't say Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao's never got fucking caught. Not saying he was taking anything, but if you like if he's never, you got to be proven guilty. That's the thing. Now you could say Jarrell Miller, but again, Jarrell Miller ain't fought nobody. His dumb ass got busted before. Right? And you can't say Big Baby Miller. He got popped before. He might have been using them before. He might have been. You know what I mean? But that's speculation because we can't prove it. Just like we honestly can't prove that that Margarito cheated Cotto. However, those raps look so fucked up. Tyson Fury did pop. Tyson Fury did pop. But who did he get popped by? Who did he get popped by? When did he get popped? Did he get popped going into another fight, or did he get popped going into a fight? John Jones. No, well, that's UFC. That's UFC. I'm talking about box. Well, you can intertwine them. John Jones, you got a point. John Jones, he did test positive. That motherfucker did. He was popping. Now he was popping. But as far as boxers, you got Fernando Vargas, Sugar Shane Mosley, Chael Sonnen. You had these guys that it's enough examples of these guys. Okay? It's enough examples of these guys getting beat while on performance enhancing drugs, to let you know that it is not a given that these guys are guaranteed to win by taking drugs. They're just cheating. That it ain't even guaranteed. Exactly. Pivectin got popped, then KO Dunapas. Is that right though? I know he got caught. But okay, Chris Arreola. I'll give you another one. What's his name? Carlos Molina. Right? Dillian's B sample. Touche, motherfucker. Touche. Because I mean, I don't know. It was something weird. It was some minute shit in it. You know what I mean? I just still think that was a shitty way that all popped out. And that let me know that Mauricio did not have any good measure or any good mind to make give Dillian White something that he fought like hell to get. Oh, Lesnar popped and then beat Undertaker. Remember, they got Dunapas on 20 hours notice. Ah, okay. Gotcha. Mike Tyson's gloves were floppy. Well, you know what? For that matter, that's just like saying Evander Holyfield's gloves were heavy. Were floppy. They were floppy. You had more padding in the wrist area. They were both Everlasts. Go back and watch Lennox Lewis versus Evander Holyfield, the first fight. You'll see the gloves are bigger for Evander because they're made more for blocking, whereas Lennox Lewis had Everlast gloves also, but they were more of a puncher style. Joe Joyce versus Mike Tyson. I wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want to see that shit. You gotta fucking shoot Joe Joyce to knock him out. You know? And it just shows you, though, people look at fighters like Joe Joyce, Andy Ruiz. These guys ain't going nowhere. They're gonna fight you until it's over. If somebody can knock out, if someone gets credit for knocking those guys out, it would have to be either they get stopped because the ref sees that the fighter is getting hit too much, or something like that, or the referee, or the trainer throws in the towel or something. Would love to see more flyweights. I don't really know any right now. Joe Joyce versus Efe Ajagba. That would be good. That would be a good fight. Because Ajagba's going to throw those bows being tall like he is and rangy. Yeah, pretty much. Jared Anderson. Yeah, he's acting an ass. But that's what people do. That's what Wilder did to Joshua. I mean, he went at Joshua hard. That was some cold shit he said. He said he was always. That just shows you. Look, he said, hold on, let me look this shit up. I don't know if it'll